when I heard, my phone was buzzing. A lot of the players were texting me, so I'm very excited. You know, quality guy, 200-foot guy that can play all positions. You know, the right-handed draw is something we desperately needed, and I think he's over 55%, so he fits a need for us.
What does a trade like this do for a team? You guys have been playing at a high level. When you had a guy like this, heading forward, does that mean a message that's
Well, I'm a puzzle guy, and he's a big piece, right? He fits a puzzle for us. You know, to win, you know, you have to have those guys that can play 200 feet that also can score, but also defend. And that's kind of the identity we've tried to play this way and this year. You know, and that's funny. I text Matthew Tkachuk and I asked him, "Has he played with him?" I said, what do you think? What about this guy?" And he said, "I love him." So when Matthew Tkachuk says he loves a guy, you know he's a good player.
Can you give us a timeline of when you first heard about the trade and up to now?
Honestly, I think it was yesterday, like early. Like it wasn't. Yeah, Patrick called me and said it's not done, but it's close. So just be ready for it. I think I was getting on a plane, so that's how I found out.
Rick, you got a couple of guys that can play now, center and wing.
Yeah.
Stability in your top six. How do you see that playing out?
I love a hybrid. I call it the hybrid. So, you know, we'll get the bingo balls and figure it out. But you know, whether I play them with Petey or not, it's pretty nice that you got one guy can take the right side of the draw and the other left. Petey's really good on both, but he's good on the left. And it's also nice when another guy can go down low. You know, if you come back in your own zone, it's nice to have. It's whether I play him with Pettersson or not, he can go low. Either one, that's a luxury for a coach. They can switch off, yeah. Sometimes you don't want wingers going down to play. You want to switch with other centermen, but you don't have to switch with those two guys. They're both obviously great defensive centermen.
In your experience, what sort of impact does a big trade like this do for a team heading into the construction?
Well, you got to be careful because you know you don't want to upset the apple cart too much. But I don't think a guy like him's gonna, you know, he's just gonna fit a huge need for us in the sense that, you know, he's a jack of all trades, and he's a great penalty killer too. You know, and he can play power play. So, like I said, it's not gonna. We have a great leadership group. We have a really close team. I think he's going to mix in really well.
Is it a message that your ownership and management are looking forward this year? Is that always the message?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's, you know, obviously, every team wants to go for it, but obviously, when you get a piece like that, it obviously gives you, you know, another shot to you know, to make a run or whatever you guys want to call it. But yeah, I mean, you know, Jim and Patrick, you know, they've been really methodical in who we've picked up. You know, I don't think it's like we're pushing all our chips in, but you know, I'm just excited we got this guy. I really am.
What can you say about Thatcher Demko's season and what he means to this team?
He's all business. You know, what I love about him is, you know, we had a day off the other day, and he went and got ice himself with Ian Clark by himself to get extra work. He's all business. He's just been terrific for us. You know, he's been you know, he's won his games with shutouts. He's won games. You know, what I've really been impressed. There was a couple of games where he's let 4 goals in early, and he never let the 5th goal, and we ended up coming back to win. And you know, I'm not comparing him to Grant Fuhr, but Grant Fuhr used to be like that. And I think that says a lot for me for a goalie. He doesn't give up, and he doesn't let that other goal go in and lets us get back in the game. Usually when a goalie's, from my experience, some goalies having a tough night, 4 goals, you know, 5 goals, they don't really care, but this guy cares, and that's why his attitude for me is just unreal.
Rick, everybody's got their...
Oh, sorry.
You're on TNT right now. What would you say about
Yeah, I marvel. I've watched a couple of games where Colorado struggled, and within 5 minutes they were leading the game. It's amazing, but I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, the guy works as hard as anybody. I actually use him as a reference for our leadership group, where a guy like him, what he does off the ice, and what he does at practice, before and after practice, is amazing. Sidney Crosby, those guys. So I use them as references a lot for our group. Well, I mean, you better have layers. You better have, it's hard. You know, we're gonna have to. Well, one of us, one of the teams in the West, gonna have to figure it out. How do you stop that guy? So we got a couple of months to figure it out, I guess.
You're on TNT and have 30 seconds to break to summarize the
Oh man. Oh, that's a tough one. I'd rather let Biz do it. Yeah, Biz. No, that's a tough question. I mean, just a hard-working team. You know, got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. You know, it's which I like.
You were on the team that won 7 in a row. Edmonton
Yeah.
Edmonton has won 16 in a row.
Yeah.
What do you remember about that streak when you played on that team, and what would it do that?
You know, to win 17 in a row, you know, you're on a roll. I mean, it's like Edmonton is. There's some games that you shouldn't win. I'm not sure about Edmonton. It looks like they've won. They deserve every game, I guess. I don't know, but there was a couple of games where we didn't deserve. I think Alfie Sampson scored in overtime to beat Montreal. I think to get the record. A lot of things got to go your way. Obviously a hot goaltender, things like that.
Are you following that streak? And
Yeah, I mean, because I was part of the one 17, so. I hate when guys say they want people to break their records. I don't want them to break our record. But it is impressive. That team is playing lights out. Very dangerous.
When you say your team has a chip on its shoulder, where does that come from?
Well, I think it comes from them. You know, it's been a tough bunch of years. Not too many people counted us out this summer. Even early on when we won some games, it's when's the shoe going to fall type of thing. So I think we live for the day. We earn our day every day, and that's the way we kind of run things around our team. Don't listen to outside noise and stuff like that. And it's going to get hotter and hotter. You know, the pressure's going to mount. So I like the headspace of our players right now.
Rick, can you talk about how Quinn and Hronek
Yeah.
at one another?
Yeah, they're a possession obviously group. They have the puck a lot. Very rarely they're in their end a lot because they can skate the puck out. They can pass it out very quick. Obviously, Hughes has been unreal this year, and Philip's been the perfect partner for him. They sling it to each other well. The righty-lefty thing, it all works. But the good thing to them, sometimes we split them up, and they buy into that too. We might have to split them up. Who knows down the road? But for now, it's a great pair.
Everybody has their own
Sorry.
story, sort of each guy in your position. Jim Montgomery needed a second chance. Rick Bowness has had I don't know how many chances over the years. You were this close at one time to being out of the league completely and then back in.
Really?
Now,
I don't think No. I was out of the league?
around the Olympics, what year was that?
No, I'm kidding.
You know what I'm
No,
talking
no,
about?
no. I hear what you're saying. No,
To
it's
be back here with the best team in an all-star game with two other guys who were this close to having their careers over.
Well, for me, it's a group thing. I mean, I'm lucky. I brought in Adam Foote, Sergei Gonchar, with the existing staff, convincing the Twins that they wanted to. They weren't even coaching; they were more on the development side. Now they're coaching with me. Obviously, my relationship with Patrick and Jim was a big help. So I think it's just the pack mentality we have that really helped me. You don't feel you're alone in there. And obviously, the ownership is stable. It's a stable group. That's really helped for me.
What impresses you about Jim and about Rick Bowness?
For Rick, for me, I've coached with Rick in Arizona. I know him really well. Just impressed, obviously. Like longevity is incredible. Like just to be in this coaching world for as long as he has. It's a tough business. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of moving parts to it, and for him to sustain it is truly amazing. I know. I don't know if I could coach as long as he is. I think I'd be in a loony bin. This guy is just incredible. Like I rode over with him today, and I marvel at his job. I think their team is coached unreal, and the way they play very hard. That's Rick Bowness, and obviously Monty. I think what he's done in Boston. I mean,
It's textbook.
they got the same amount of points as us, and nobody even talks about the Bruins that much. I think everybody just expects them to win.
Rick, you coach Sidney Crosby. Are you surprised at all to see the season he's having at 36?
No. We played them 3 weeks ago, and he was the best player on the ice. He was incredible. Sid's game is as good as it's been. Might be better than the last couple. Like, it's hard to say that, but his game this year is probably better than the last couple of years. Like, and he played great 2 years, like the last couple of years. So, for me, the way he plays, approaches the game is I've never seen an athlete like that.
No Canadian team has won the cup since '93.
Yeah.
There are 4 reasonable candidates this year. Is this the year that streak can end?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of good Canadian teams are playing well. You know, and if one of the teams get hot, you never know. You know, you got to have a little bit of luck, injuries, and all that sort of stuff. You know, certain players got to get hot. Your goalie's got to be hot. But it's nice to see, though. It's nice to see Winnipeg and Edmonton and all these teams make a run. Toronto.
What's it mean for a Scarborough boy to come back and what you want to do?
Yeah. I mean, it's unreal. You know, to have your family come, stuff like that, and be part of it. This is the mecca of hockey, right? So, it's it's quite special being a Scarborough guy for sure.
Soccer's going to get his number retired in a couple
Yeah.
of years. What do you think of that? Just what that, I mean, overdue maybe, but just to take it so long, but he's still playing too. But just for him to have that moment in Pittsburgh, the guy who played.
Yeah, I wish I could be there. Mario, Kevin's, all the guys are going to be there. I mean, I always talk about it. If you're going to watch 2 guys go in a corner, who comes out with a puck, he'd be one of my favorites. You know, do you throw a puck in there, and I would pay a pay-per-view to see, and there's a lot of candidates to go against him, and I don't know if there's many guys that can beat him one-on-one out of a corner. He's that good. And I marvel that. The one thing I always respect about Yogs is his work ethic, but I remember as an 18, 19-year-old when I played with him, we had to kick him off in morning skates. He'd be out there for an hour. Just the passion he has, and I mean, I think he's still playing for that Czech league, right?
Yeah.
Right? Hey, Hitler.
For such a drastically improved team, which you guys are this year, how important is the Lindholm addition to prevent any regression down the stretch, or at any point? You've seen Edmonton start horribly and now heat up.
Yeah.
LA has fallen off a cliff over the past month. Like, how does he help you prevent that from happening to you guys?
Well, I mean, he's obviously a piece, right? He does a lot of different things well. And he's coming into an environment, like we don't think too much ahead. Like, we're not thinking of playoffs and the past, and you know, we weren't even supposed to make the playoffs. Now we're supposed to be comfortable. Like, you can't think that way. And I think he's going to come in an environment knowing that we just kind of earn our day, and we're just excited for him to be involved in our team and our system.
Sorry, Rick, for the follow-up question from earlier, but you said you were flying here yesterday. Where are you flying for vacation, or were you flying for Vancouver?
No, I have a place in Vegas. I live in Vegas, obviously. So I was home for 2 days before. So yeah.
So you just caught wind from Patrick?
Yeah, he texted me. Well, he tried to call me, but I couldn't take the call because the flight attendant said you can't answer your phone, right? So he said, you got to call me. And then I said, what's up? He goes, we might have a deal you'll like. And then obviously it worked out.
So you're on the plane?
Yeah.
Getting Malcolm closing in on 500 goals potentially in the career. What do you remember from your time coaching him?
Who's that?
Malcolm.
Gino, just a money player. You know, when the chips were down, that guy would show up. You know, he really, to me, he's got a great personality. I don't know if he portrays it to the media as much, but in the locker room, and he's a leader. You know, that's one thing. He's most underrated. People don't think he's a leader. They just think about scoring goals and stuff like winning, but he's a huge leader in that dressing room.
Personality, what moments stand out to you? Is there any in particular?
There's a lot. In pressure situations, I've been in that dressing room where he said something funny when, you know, we've been in some game 7, some heavy pressure situations, and him and Phil Kessler are kind of japping each other, going out for the third period when it's a tie hockey game. I love that about Gino. Like, the moment's not too big for him.
How surprised are you that Phil hasn't found a team?
Yeah, a little surprised. I think there's value with Phil. I think he's skating right now, I heard, still. But yeah, I'm a little surprised. I mean, I think he can still play, 100%.
Do you stay in touch with him?
Yeah, I talk to him every once in a while. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I know I was talking to Clayton Keller. He's really close to him. I think he's skating a lot in Arizona.